Scott Churchson alongside Mr. Ryan O'Regan and as well Mr. Brandon Kay. And welcome to What Grinds My Gears as we sit here, gripe, piss, grumble, bitch, and moan about all the things in the world of entertainment, television, movies, and pop culture. And good timing as well. Mr. Devani Boosie showed up as well. So, gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Fun. Well.
Well.
All right then.
I'm split. A lot of emotions.
All right, yeah.
Well, I just got back from a Disney vacation for the past week, so I have my thoughts. And obviously they'll tie into, what we're going to probably talk about first, considering how much Disney there is on ABC. Oh, my God.
There is a lot of Disney to go into, and obviously the big thing that was on Disney last night, if somehow you guys were actually living under some sort of a rock, I don't know how.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, they underneath the Chris Rock. Oh, very clever. So, change that right there.
Yes. Yeah, get them in the stream here. Here we go.
Oh, that's nice. Right.
Get all six of us.
Yeah, that's a nice. Oh wow.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that angle right there. I think I like it. Actually, it works really well there. So, yeah, if you have not actually somehow known about this, but Will Smith straight up slapped the bitch out of Chris Rock last night on the Oscars to give some kind of
Dave Chappelle as Rick James. What the five fingers say to the face?
Well, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into that because in this case here, I got a little bit of a tinfoil hat. Brandon, I know you did too, and I'm not sure how you guys are thinking on this case, but right now, as the Guardian, I looked it up really like 15 minutes ago on the Guardian YouTube channel. This video has 54 million views and 174,000 comments in less than 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Since when has the Oscars What's that? What's that?
No, that's not good. I'm sorry. It's continue.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's not going to be a big deal.
I do what I can.
So we're just obviously reacting in the moment. We're coming off it happening last night. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, this is just going to go down as one of these TV moments. But I could see this being one of these video that ends up racking up a lot of views. And you know what? In the long run, it could be great for the Oscars. Look how much we're talking about them. Every time I went on social media, every Instagram, TikTok, everything was about this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to take that out for a second.
Instagram, Twitter,
head right there.
Everything.
Let's just keep it fresh right here.
Yeah, let's basically have it there so we can see the full, the full Rock.
Keep a fresh Prince out here.
Yeah. Now, in this case, if somehow you guys weren't aware of it, Chris Rock made a Chris Rock-esque joke because that's what Chris Rock, by the way, does. Big surprise. And apparently it pissed off Jada Pinkett. And if since none of you guys except me are married, if the wife ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So
even though he did laugh at the joke originally shown.
Yes. But it doesn't matter if you laugh at a joke. It matters if the wife laughs at a joke. And if she ain't happy, like I said, ain't nobody happy. So
I know, but that was a quick turnaround. He's just like, yeah. Oh, you mother.
Bingo, yeah. And then you can see Chris Rock being like, oh, boy. And credit, by the way, to Rock for being able to take it and pretty much just kind of roll with it, and be able to take the smack and be like, dude, it's a joke. And, but I'm going to go around with this and I'm going to start actually with Devani first.
No, save me for last. Save me for last.
All right. In that case, basically, I'm going to start with Brandon.
Devani's like, I really don't want any part in this.
You said you had some tinfoil conspiracy theory going. You said you had some conspiracy stuff going. So I want to get from you, in this case here, A, was it staged? And B, which one of the two actually looks worse in all this?
I don't know if this whole thing was staged, but there is aspects of this whole interaction that are a little kind of get my ears up. If you watch the way he walks up, it's this whole from walking up, the slap to coming back, it was very robotic. He walks up and then there's like a split second of pause. And then he does this kind of just side momentum. It didn't feel like a natural, like you're going up and to like actually smack them. It felt very robotic. So I don't know if that part of it was staged. My thought was maybe there was a joke that they ran by both of them that maybe the two, Jada and Will was like, don't go with this. But then Chris Rock went with it anyway. maybe it was something like that, and then they reacted the way they did. At the end, to me, I think it's funny, but it is very like I'm sitting there watching it just from Jada's reaction. I'm like uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
So, like if I'm uncomfortable through a screen, bro, like we damn well know Will's sitting there with like some sweat coming down his head. So I think there has to be something behind this.
And it could well be. I mean, like you said, he did seem very, very cool, composed. Walk up, slap, walk away, and then just sit down. And then, of course, keep my
But actually,
my name down.
when he walks back, he's like fixing his belt, like kind of like, oh yeah, I'm the shit. I just did that.
Well,
like if
I
you
mean,
watch,
Will
it looks
Smith
a
is
little,
the shit. I mean,
yeah, he's got kind of like this smirk, but there was just something about where it just felt very robotic. So I don't know. And then actually the funniest part was when Will Smith is walking up, you hear Chris Rock go, Richard, referring to King Richard, the movie. That was the funniest part. So I don't know. I don't know if it was staged, so to speak, but there's got to be something going on.
All right, Ryan, how about you?
I can't abide by that. I can't abide by there being like any kind of planning necessarily, because you could see that Rock was visibly and auditorily just taken back by the whole thing. Even when he's trying to talk to Will Smith and Smith's going, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." There was an audible silence.
You can
Rock was as prone and professional as he could possibly be, still trying to do his job, still up there in front of everybody, still going ahead and trying to present the award that he's supposed to do. And even he tried to throw in a joke as he was originally planning to in his whole setup. And you could hear it just like falling on deaf ears because everyone was still in silence. He tried to recover as much as possible. And yes, check on him for actually going ahead and taking the slap from one of, the bigger action stars we've had of our generation. He took it like a champ. All right, I give Rock all the credit in the world for not going ahead and making it a delinquent moment and firing back. Because I think if it had been Jason Momoa, if it had been any one of the 3 female hosts that went ahead and said something to Jada, he went ahead and acted like that, you best believe it would have been much, much worse. So as far as it being any kind of conspiracy, I highly doubt it. I think Chris Rock definitely looks better out of this, regardless of whether or not Smith went ahead and won his award and gave his speech and talked about being a vessel of love for my people and for my protecting my family, and love makes you do crazy.
Bullshit. Someone will apologize for smacking the shit out of you after the fact. Still does not take away from the fact they smacked the shit out of you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That single solitary moment, which practically had nothing to do with the awards itself, pretty much overshadows all the good things that happened at the Oscars. It took away from some of the better awards speeches. It took away from some of the brighter moments, because this is all people are talking about. People finally have their golden opportunity. Awards were taken off of the show and clipped up and put back on in order to save time. Instead, we were given a bunch of nonsense, and don't even get me started on Encanto not being Encanto when they did. We don't talk about Bruno. They messed that up too. But regardless, this whole thing just sours the entire thing. It sours the entire Oscars performance. It sours the entire lineage of trying to make it better. Now this is like the lowest part that they've probably ever had. And I feel bad for the people that had their golden moment pretty much pushed to the side because of this love and hip hop kind of nonsense.
But is that the way that actually they're trying to go with? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the pushing people's spotlight out of the way. Like that part I understand. But at the end of the day, like, do we talk about Oscar moments, or do we talk about like the movies that won, or the actors that won the major awards? Like this is
right now we're talking about Oscar
under
moments.
The bridge soon. I think so. We're really caught up in the moment, but like, yeah, I think it in the moment it's low, but I think they're going to be fine, and they might even look. How much are we talking about them?
The actual awards themselves, we don't. We'll see. Here's the
funny
thing.
I mean, Questlove, obviously, the people behind the scenes, the people behind some of this stuff, they end up getting overshadowed by this nonsense.
And how I felt about that for a long time with the Oscars. Best animated, the choreography, set design, things like that. Those a lot of times end up just being completely ignored by the Oscars, which always pisses me off because they film that ahead of time and then throw it in post. And I think that's unfair. But when you look at a lot of the stuff here, when you think about Oscars in the past, you don't really necessarily remember who won, but you remember who was on stage and who performed and all this kind of stuff. That is what I think most people typically take away from an Oscars event. Not so much who won, but more who was up there, what they wore, and what they may have said. So,
which is fine if it's beneficial to the people involved. Who did this benefit?
The Oscars. And here's why I'm going to say that. And I mentioned it right before the show. The Guardian YouTube channel alone, not counting any of the other channels that have this video up, the Guardian YouTube channel, when I saw it an hour ago, had 54 million views and 174,000 comments. I don't know if any video in YouTube history has exploded that quickly before. I don't know if anyone has. I mean, nothing from BTS, nothing from any artist that's been out there. Nobody
Gangnam
has
Style
exploded.
didn't even blow up that fast.
Dude, no one did. 50, and that was just the Guardians one. That wasn't some of the other sites out there. That wasn't CNN. That wasn't,
And this also doesn't even account something like TikTok where it's video. So every scroll is a view.
Dude, absolutely. And as a result, I mean, I think that in some ways this falls into the bad press is good press, just because of the fact that it made the Oscars relevant again. If you remember before, I don't know if you saw it, but I put it on my own Facebook. It's like describe the Oscars in 3 words. And everybody was kind of coming out with the equivalent of no longer interesting, boring as fuck. All these kind of things that in 3 words, they're like, I don't care. Now they care.
No, they don't care about the Oscars. They care about this little blip that is outside of the Oscars. All right. This is Kanye West kind of drama. This is the kind of thing that's going to go ahead and continue on in the court of public opinion, regardless of what the Oscars say they're going to go ahead and investigate, regardless of Diddy telling us that they squashed it behind the scenes. It doesn't matter. The minute it gets out there, the minute it's on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, any of it, it becomes its own entity and everything else gets overshadowed. And it's cheap. I know there's the old saying, like, controversy creates cash. Even in the WWE, even in wrestling, if you went ahead and went into business for yourself and slapped somebody during their speech or during the segment and you went off script, you would be chastised. And yet they are going ahead and giving him the time to speak and do his speech and get his award and clapping and all the sycophantic nonsense that they go ahead because of that award show, because everyone trying to save face, when he could have just gone ahead and handled it backstage like a civilized human being. But he didn't do that.
So what would your reaction been if they didn't show his speech and they didn't show that award part, that part of the show?
I feel it almost would have been justified. Because, at this point, it's like once bitten, twice shy. You already put the camera on him once and look what he did. God forbid if he didn't go ahead and go crazy with the speech. He was actually a little bit more subdued. But if I was the producer of that show, if I was the one running the cameras, I would damn near second guess myself as to whether or not I'd give him any more airtime.
Okay.
Sorry, heated. I'm good.
Yeah. You feel better? You're right?
Oh, yeah, I'm Gucci.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's why we have the show for.
Well, I've never been on the show before. I don't know if I'm supposed to go off that.
There you go. Now, see, this is why we have the show, for this platform and this outlet for that type of ventilation.
Exactly. Get it out of your system. Talk, gripe, bitch, complain. Yeah. Now there's
okay, but enough of us. Devani.
Well, actually, I still have my own thing, but
yeah, you guys up.
Yeah,
and I thought you were the host. I thought you wanted all us to talk first.
Here's the only thing I'm going to add to this. Everybody's sitting there saying Chris Rock is to blame or Will Smith's to blame. The one group that nobody is talking about here is nobody's blaming the Academy themselves. The Academy brought in Chris Rock. You know what Chris Rock is. You know what kind of material he brings to the table. This, in some weird way, and Brandon might be the only one that sort of remembers this. Back in 2003, Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN brought in Rush Limbaugh to cover NFL pregame. Yes, it actually happened. It actually happened. Now, I'm not going basically one way or the other on Rush, like him, hate him. I'm not going to that point. But when Rush said what Rush says, people were like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Are you surprised? He did what he does. He says what he says. Chris Rock did what he did and says what he says because Chris Rock is Chris Rock. You can get pissed off at Ricky Gervais of the Golden Globes a couple years ago. You brought him in. You decided to hire him. You can't get pissed off at the outcome of it if you're the one that made the decision to bring him in and to pay him.
Not to mention, the man's hosted the Oscars before. It's not like he's a stranger. It's not like this is his first time on the job.
I mean, have you seen Chris Rock's material?
It's one of those things where it's like, I've seen so many people because, I used to be a member of the stand-up community.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I still am. I don't know. But I've seen so many stand-ups now that are either making jokes about it or they're legitimately concerned about how things are going to go for them, because it's this kind of stuff where someone goes ahead and does something this stupid and then is given fanfare over it that is going to embolden people to go ahead and do the same thing. It's like back when Trump was president and he go ahead and say something stupid, all of a sudden everyone else thinks, okay, I can say the same stupid thing because he said it. It's a slippery slope when people go unscathed through these things. And you know what? I'm looking at Jordan Rock, Chris Rock's younger brother, who was also a stand-up. And he's saying that, anybody that says that you think this is right, if you're a comic and you're okay with this is why you are where you are and you're not higher. Paraphrasing, of course, but it says a lot about the community when this is the kind of stuff that's kind of like, yeah, sure, okay.
But if I'm Chris Rock's brother saying that, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. And could we put up the comment by Malcolm Lay there? And I thought of this when in the Grammys situation when Kanye.
I lost the comments.
Completely kidnapped
Malcolm,
the stage.
Put it back up.
Put it back up.
I can't. I lost it when that cut.
Right. Well, there's a comment. If anybody remembers what the Grammys or like the winners, the situation with Kanye coming up on stage to interrupt Taylor Swift during her moment. Yes, we remember the moment, but the Grammys, they, how much did they branch off in their own success still after that moment? How much is the Grammys still? The Grammys, they are another academy that should be goddamn ashamed of themselves. But that's a whole story for a whole another day. Talk about the Oscars here.
I want to give Devani a shot. He's been remarkably quiet here. So
I just want to say that they're like the whole point of the Oscars, they're going to be fine.
Devani, any thoughts here?
I'm a huge fan of both of these actors.
Same.
Huge actor. I'm a huge fan. What I saw last night, I was kind of flabbergasted, stunned, shocked. And not only that, you had to look at the history of Black people that basically got to the Oscars, the rare of us winning, the rare of us being nominated. And for an actor to go on stage and slap another actor because of a comment, to me, it feels as though we just stepped. And I know people going to say, oh, you're trying to throw this historic back and our ancestors, but factuality, we worked so hard to get recognized to be in the Oscars. We worked so hard to be in the Academy Award. And for you to basically do that and from a live audience, public TV, and then not only that, you're in the background yelling, get your wife's name out my effing mouth, out your effing mouth. Not once, but twice.
Extremely audibly and extremely clearly.
Yeah. Credit, by the way, to ABC for being able to cut that out. The version, The Guardian was uncut, but ABC, because it was on a
the
delay,
international version's also uncut.
Credit to Australia for giving us the uncut version.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Elsie.
Uncut Gems. That's all that made me think. I'm just going to throw that out there.
But
I heard the joke. To me, and this is my opinion, and I always and I was talking about it throughout the day with coworkers and stuff, and I always throw out scenarios. Because what if Chris Rock didn't know about her condition? What if?
According to reports, he didn't.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And that's what the factor is right there. Whatever it was, it could have waited behind or backstage or after the show. But you actually went up there live, not really getting the fact that, yo, I'm nominated. Yo, I'm about to win an award or something. I'm not sure. But still, I still have a presence. I still have a reputation. You know, but and I know people not hearing me cursing or anything like that because I was ready, like literally ready to go. But because I feel as though it's not the appropriate time, I may say a couple of words.
Here's the funny thing that I think about with this. Suppose for a second that Will Smith didn't go up there, but you saw him and Jada pissed off. You know, then of course the internet.
That would have made sense. It would have
but
been.
See, here's what would have happened though. When word came out that she had alopecia, the internet itself would have done the job for Will Smith, because the internet would have gone after Chris Rock. In this case, they kind of made him a little bit of a martyr because of this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't basically take things upon your hand. You are a representation of not just the community of actors, but Black people themselves. Especially Black men that looked up to you, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to your rapping years to this to that. I'm not making excuses of you should defend your wife 100%. But there's ways of you doing it. And I know I'm going to get scarred because people are going to say, oh, so you telling me you wouldn't smack somebody on stage? It's an appropriate way to do things. That wasn't an appropriate way. Now, I don't know what type of repercussions he's going to get. He may not get none at all because he's Will Smith. You know, but we don't know. You know, but they may take his Oscar away. We don't know if that is going to be that extreme.
I don't think they're going to go that far with it because that stuff is already pretty much set up ahead of time, and that would look tainted to whomever they end up giving it to instead. You know, I think Will Smith can absorb this one hit. If it happens, no pun intended. If it happens again, though, I think in this case, then it would hurt his reputation. I think he's got enough defenders, but it's kind of like one of those things where you make a mistake once, people forgive, but when you make a mistake again, people lose that forgiveness. I think Will has burned his one here.
It's like his movie career. You know, we can forgive after Earth, but we ain't forgiving Gemini Man.
Well, I don't know. Can we forgive Wild Wild West, though?
No, we're not.
He was young.
I mean, the movie.
That was the beginning of the downfall.
You know, the song we can forgive. I like the song. The movie, yeah, not really. I mean, we blame John Peters for that one.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, in this case here, I don't know for sure if it was staged, if it was not staged. I can't say for certain. But what I can say is that when you hire a person, you have to assume the responsibility for whatever comes out of their mouth. You know, and you can't be like, well, it's them versus them. No, it's me. I paid you. Go ahead.
But here's the thing. Was it that offensive? To me, it wasn't offensive. No. If somebody didn't know, it wasn't offensive.
It was a bad joke.
If they come into it knowing that person has that condition, then it's understandably so offensive. But I gave you the articles about he found out that Chris Rock didn't know about the condition that Jada Pinkett had. So technically, he should have went backstage and talked to him about it. He didn't know. So when you make a joke like that and the person don't know, because remember, people have different hairstyles. You know, you never know. Yeah. And I'm going to correct, you know, and I may get backlash. I'm going to get backlash. You have white women that cut their hair bald for a fashion statement. You have Black women cut their hair off as a fashion statement. And we're not, you know, we don't ask questions about what's going on. Maybe, yeah, she said it a long time, but who remembers that years ago or remember her singing that? That's about her condition.
She sang?
You know, but, huh?
She sang?
No, the Jada Pinkett. The reason why her hair is falling out and stuff. Because she said it a couple of years ago about it, but I didn't know until today, and a lot of other people didn't know until today, or still learning about it.
Academy should have been escorted out immediately after. Yeah, okay. The fact that he was still able to accept his Oscar, it's a precedent for the future Oscars, which is the question I wanted to ask you guys as we sort of start to wrap this up a little bit. That you can hit someone still be allowed
at
to
that
stay in
point,
theater.
though, I just think it continues to make it more about this situation. At least with Chris Rock, he had that moment of awkward. He looked off to the side, like, "Do I go? Do I continue?" And then they went on with it. So I think doing that was the smart thing, and to just kind of, yes, it happened. We'll deal with it afterwards. Let's finish the show. But to bring people out there and to have it really become more of a public issue or public kind of scene than it was, I think would have been a little much.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, I think. Good.
I'm looking forward to the next Chris Rock special on Netflix.
Oh God.
But I am not looking forward to the next Will Smith
when
movie.
he came out with his album, with his stand-up special after the previous one.
I hope he goes full Chappelle on it, man. I hope he just lets it all out.
Dude, it's Chris Rock being Chris Rock. I mean, I've been fortunate. I've met both of those guys. And yeah, I mean, they are two awesome, supremely awesome human beings. And so for me, I struggle a little bit trying to decide which one I like a little bit more here. But I think I have to go with Chris Rock on this one, just by virtue of the fact that, you know, he took the hit. You know, I mean, at this point, he didn't strike back. He could have struck back if this is, you know, if everything was not staged, he could have swung back. He could have done a lot of things, but he took it in the moment. You know, it was a little uncomfortable even afterwards, where he was trying to get himself recentered again and things like that. But I think 75, I'm going to say 70-30, maybe 65-35 in favor of Chris Rock in this particular situation. But again, I mean, do you blame the Academy for being like, "Hey, Chris Rock, why don't you come on in and tell jokes?" And what does that mean? Like you said, like Malcolm said, what does this mean for next year going forward? Both in action that's appropriate by actors and also basically people that are on stage. I mean, who do you get next? You know, I mean, Stephen Wright, you know, somebody so bland and vanilla for the Oscars next year.
Oh, I'm going to love to see if they ever try to bring back Kevin Hart. I would have loved to have seen him when he hosted, and now, after the way things have gone, I want to see him host. I want to see Kevin Hart go ahead and just really just lay it all out there, because he will do it. He's he's probably the only host I can think of that would address that stuff.
Billy Crystal for the 86th time.
He'd do a musical number, but that's about it.
Would Will Smith slap Kevin Hart? Yes. In that same situation.
Well, don't forget, Will Smith also played Ali, so you know there's some power behind those hits. I watched that man shadowbox the Men in Black.
Just going back to the hit, the slap. I don't know. This just not. I don't want to throw the word stage there, because we've said that ad nauseum here. But there's just something unnatural about the way he walked up, took like this nanosecond pause, and then came across with this very weird slap. It didn't feel natural. That's all.
Because if you're Chris Rock and you're going ahead and you're making jokes, and you see one of the people, possibly one of the biggest stars in the world, walking up to you, and you're just like, "Oh, he's gonna say something. He's gonna do something. This is gonna be good." You're not expecting him to hit you raw.
Yeah.
No. You know, and basically, Chris Rock has already come out and said he's not going to file charges on that. But I'm feeling Chris Rock knows stuff about Will that Will doesn't want revealed. You know, says something, you know, about Will. I mean, there is the whole thing about, you know, apparently they have an open relationship, and apparently she has.
Well, what is it about Will Smith and his family and his love life that we don't already know?
Dude, how much did that screw up like Jaden and the other girl, whatever her name is? So
Willow.
They got entanglements. That's
like I said.
It's like I tweeted. Will Smith entangled his hand on Chris Rock's face.
Yeah,
but I'm going to say this much. I really feel like I said, I think it could have been done a different way. Absolutely. Well, I'm totally disappointed. I'm still not going to say I'm not going to be a fan. He's not going to be canceled because it doesn't make sense for him to be canceled.
He's too cool. I think they ever be canceled anyway.
I really think that him and Chris Rock probably need to do a heart-to-heart discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Jake Paul or one of the Paul brothers offered them like $15 million each to do it out in the ring.
What does he want? What does he want to fight them now?
Or watch them do it and sit in a throne and watch them like in Space Jam. What's his yeah.
But I really think
offered an apology, by the way, too. So
I just really think like I said, it's more than just an apology. It's just that you need to confront with him and sit down like you and your wife be having those table talks and you having your tear cry, and and no offense, like come on, like you stuff that your wife put out there, you should be able to have the same reaction and say, look, I didn't respect that. Maybe we should have a table talk and discuss this as men. Because this was disgusting, to be honest with you. I'm not saying his reaction wasn't disgusting. Him defending women is disgusting. No, I'm all for what was it about, but the action that came with it was unnecessary. That was embarrassing. Like, I'm all about defending people, but it's how you do it. Your action.
And in this case here, I guess by him taking action, now everybody knows about the alopecia. It suddenly took it from a 2 to a 25. And it exploded this thing into something that would have been so much bigger. I mean, honestly, it would have flipped under the rug. They would have had a private conversation, never seen the light of day, and then people would be talking about Encanto or anything else, whatever the highlight of that was. This is the highlight because it was escalated.
Yeah, but his highlight would have been him winning the award for best male actor. That was his main goal. But now you got this charade of internet, YouTube, Twitter of you smacking an actor that's overshadowing your award-winning, Oscar-winning, award-winning. That's a prestige.
That's more like a BTW to win an award. Like, congratulations. This right here, this comment, I think wins. That I could 150% see next year. 100%. Oh my God, absolutely.
The Rock and Kevin Hart would make sense,
dude.
I'd rather do that.
Throw Karen Gillan in there. Just make it like a Jumanji reunion. You want to throw in Jack Black?
Let them co-host. Let The Rock make some jokes that some people don't like. Let's see someone come up to him.
Yeah, I know, right?
You stupid.
Lay it to smack it down on the people's stand. Ain't gonna happen.
Wait! Don't we got a picture of The Rock's reaction when he saw that picture?
Oh yeah, no, that reaction shot.
There was a picture. Well, if you looked at the back, I can't pull it up right now. But if you looked at the back, you see Lupita Nyong'o. When Will Smith is dropping F-bombs, you see the look on her face of like, oh my God, what have I walked into? It's like I picked the wrong day to show up here.
and everyone in the background is ooh.
I had an image of just like so many reactions of everybody.
It was like high school all over again watching it, but after sitting now observing and basically like really observing the situation, acknowledging and understanding what just happened, it was like, dude, what have you done?
Yeah. Also, he wouldn't see him coming up either.
So. Yeah, it was like, because at first you thinking it was staged until what really made me think it wasn't staged is afterwards how Chris Rock was stumbling over his words with certain things when he was saying nominees for documentary, Oscar nominees. So.
Chris Rock screwed up a little bit. He's like, okay, presenting documentary. I mean, best documentary, because again, that's him just trying to recenter himself back after the fact that his face is probably hurting like hell after that moment.
It's like a young comic at a bringer show. The minute you get heckled, it's like you're trying to recenter yourself, and that's the biggest heckle you could get.
The time I did stand up, I got heckled by a guy I brought from Moral Support. He mooned the audience. I literally brought this guy as Moral Support, and he drank a literal gallon of Pale Moon.
So you were basically the Oscars bringing Chris Rock.
But be lucky he didn't come up on stage and smack you.
Rock wouldn't see it though.
Yeah, Rock wouldn't see
it. John Cena
wouldn't see it.
God damn it, Malcolm! Right?
He wouldn't see it.
I don't know. John Cena's stock went up after Peacemaker. Because I think people were like, "Oh yeah, John Cena." Like, oh yeah, he's suddenly in the Fast and Furious movies now. But
it's gonna be cool when the Emmys happen.
I figure basically at this point we'll start wrapping this up. I'll take this one last. We'll take this one last comment on this one. It was okay when Regina Hall called him out for being a single man when you called the man up on stage. So. But yeah, I think
that's what I was saying. Like, if one of the three female hosts, they didn't do so great either. They made some off-color comments that really left that awkward silence in the room. Especially, what was it? It was Amy Schumer calling Kirsten Dunst a seat filler for the Oscars.
Yeah,
that was. You could hear.
How dare they talk about Mary Jane like that?
Dude, I had that Spider-Man movie on, Now, they wrote her so absolutely terrible in those 3 movies. Her entire thing was to sit there and get kidnapped and scream. She got kidnapped more than Princess Peach in a Mario game.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's true.
Every single movie, she's screaming hysterically and getting cat. I mean,
Point
can you see
being-
Princess Peach in that character?
Point being, there was just so much wrong with the Oscars in general that it's a shame that we have to go ahead and focus on the one thing rather than talking about the thing as a whole.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. But I mean, I almost wonder if basically it's going to be a hashtag MOGA, make Oscars great again.
Oh, I'll tell you right now. The next
again?
time Will Smith gets nominated or possibly could get nominated for something, and he doesn't, they're going to bring this up. And now, anytime he does any kind of work, it's going to be tainted in whether or not he'll get any credit for it because they just don't want to deal with that nonsense.
He'll from that. Listen,
he can recover.
Mel Gibson was able to
I
recover.
think,
that's nothing. He'll
Water
recover
under the
from that.
bridge very soon.
Yeah.
Like that would be water on the bridge, but it's just the fact that just for the nostalgic aspect and the historic boundaries of how dare you as a black man go on stage and embarrass us.
I'm sure ABC loved it too because they're supposed to be a family-friendly kind of network, and they're putting that up on the television.
As they now have Daredevil and Defenders
ABC
and all the rest of it.
is
Jessica
like
Jones
trying
on
to
Disney
become
Plus.
more risque. They're like They're like on the fence about trying to become more risque.
They've been risque times before. I remember when they were the network that brought us NYPD Blue and Dennis Franz's naked butt.
Yeah.
I mean,
wasn't that?
They do sometimes they don't. That's what I'm saying. They go back and forth.
No, ABC wasn't that. I was about to say something else. That was CBS with the whole Super Bowl with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
Oh yeah, no,
that year I forget what station that was on.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as television censorship.
Mm-hmm.
But CBS has always been like more of an old school kind of network. So I mean, I'm not surprised in that they had that kind of backlash. Had it been Fox, they would have stung on it for like 10 more seconds. But
Fox. Now without
That's
Joe
what
Buck.
I'm saying. Compared to a Fox, like ABC is trying to become a little more.
But don't forget, ABC is a Disney company, and Disney has a certain image that they have to display, and certainly that flew in the face of what they were doing.
And then sell ABC to Viacom or Comcast or any one of these Paramount or somebody, and then have them deal with it. But this kind of back and forth, they don't know what they're doing with ABC. That's my point. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But
and
on to another sector of Disney.
Yeah, I was going to say we're moving on basically, and this is the nice segue as Ryan was like very, very subtly moving on to this because, by the way, Ryan, lucky bastard that he was. While we had like 25 degrees and rain and sleet and crap over here, he was down there at Disney World in sunny Florida, where it was 85 degrees,
70, 80, almost 90 degrees.
Yeah,
a little bit humidity.
So basically, you mentioned that you wanted to talk a little bit about Disney World because now, congratulations, they are now suddenly in their 50-year anniversary, which is impressive in its own right. But yeah, I know, really, for Disney World, not Disneyland. I didn't forget that one. But in this case here. I know you wanted to talk about some of the changes that have happened there. I have no idea what you want to talk about.
Yeah,
so I got to admit, I'm very curious here.
Well. This is news to
me. I'm dead curious. The floor is yours.
It does kind of play into what was happening with the Oscars as well, because anybody that goes ahead saw that, aside from them trying to honor the number one song, We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto, they went ahead and did a musical show, which, mind you, the song itself was not nominated. A different song from the movie was nominated. So they could have just stuck with that sort of stuff. But no, we had to do what we have to do in order to get the people's eyes on the thing. And there was just so many plugs, whether it was for Hulu or Disney Plus or a Disney movie coming out. What was it? It was the Best Actor win. After the guy did his speech, Chris Evans came on and said, congratulations on the win. Here's a trailer for Lightyear. I'm like, why? Why are we going so hard with this? You're already like one of the biggest conglomerates in the world, and yet you're going this hard on the Oscar stuff. And mind you, we knew Encanto was going to win, which of course you can always watch that watch along that we did last week. Well, They all
Yes.
did last week. I was
Yeah,
actually seeing it live.
me and
But-
Devani did. You weren't there for that.
Yeah, no. But
By the way, credit to that movie.
even
was a
that
lot of fun.
aside,
Yeah, the movie was awesome.
the last couple of years at Disney, I have been tepid. Simply because the signing over from Bob Iger over to Bob Chapek as far as a CEO has had some hiccups. And we've seen it in the news. We've seen it when it comes to the parks opening and closing, stuff going on with the Marvel movies, the ownership of Fox and what's being used and what's not being used. Obviously, the newest thing is obviously the Netflix shows and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being brought over to Disney Plus, and people wondering if that was going to be censored, what's going on with that. Lots of smoke and mirrors in order to keep everyone entertained. But when you actually go to the park, there are some things that you just notice differently. If you are someone who has gone to Disney World and possibly even Disneyland before, if you go now, it is a slog. It is a exercise in your own stamina in order to see how much nonsense you can take just to go ahead and enjoy some goddamn rides. And it's ridiculous. It makes Six Flags look bearable. And I say that as a Jersey person, knowing that that place is just swamp water and roller coasters. Look.
Exit 7.
Now, mind you, just for background's sake, I went to Disney with my mother, my sister, and my brother-in-law in order to celebrate my mother and sister's birthdays because they're on the same day in April. And my brother-in-law, David, he had only been to like Epcot once when he was a kid. So, I mean, he was getting the full experience, especially now that my sister is a big Disney person and he's being dragged along with it. So, first time already had to have a vacation with 4 people. Obviously, those 2 would split off and do their thing. I'm taking care of my poor mother who's being dragged around from park to park to park. And as much as we try to talk to her about getting the scooter, she doesn't. Which, mind you, did you know that you can rent a scooter for a Disney park for like $50 a day? Just to get around the goddamn park. I wanted to get the scooter.
And you don't need to handicap. You just decide I'm going to pay the money.
Well, I mean, you pay $70 and then they give you $20 back whenever you turn it in. I guess that's like a security
deposit.
But
I'm saying you don't have to have like a medical condition. You could just say, I want this, and then just do it.
Oh, yeah, no. I've seen people that were going, I could have gotten a scooter if I wanted to. And believe me, I wanted to. Because the way they have the park situated, all the popular stuff being so far back, all the rides being like 60 minutes, 120 minutes. Rise of the Resistance, the newest Star Wars ride that they have over in Hollywood Studios, went up to as much as a 3-hour wait for people to go onto that ride just once. Now think about it. The park is open from like maybe 8 o'clock to maybe 9 o'clock or so. You're talking about 12, 13 hours. That is a fourth of your day on one ride that lasts maybe 10 minutes, depending on what you count from. And they are fine with this. They instituted a Genie Plus system that allows you to go ahead and pay extra money to go on rides quicker than your normal person. I guess the ones that are too poor to go ahead and do it.
Peasants.
And even then, they will still jack you for an additional $10 to $15 for certain specialty rides, like Rise of the Resistance. And they are milking you. And I do believe that this is part of Bob Chapek being in control of Disney, because before he was the CEO, he was the man who was in charge of the parks. He was the one who was in charge of like making sure everything runs smoothly. Now you give the man a little bit more rope to strangle himself with, and he's going ahead and monetizing every single damn thing that you can think of. And it's getting to the point where you pretty much have to put out a loan on your house just in order to take the family on vacation. And when you come back from vacation, you won't have your house no more.
Yeah, I was going to say, you still got to fly down there. You still got to the hotels. You got to obviously eat once in a while too. You know.
Oh, yeah. And of course, prices increased this past couple of months. So the minute January came up, everything increased a quarter, 50 cents, $1. It may sound small, but you have to understand.
No, this all adds up.
2 or 3 meals going on. You've got kids, you've got grown-ups, you got people with dietary restrictions. And, you know, that may have been
question. Is that a finger in the air? Or are you just pointing
at Epcot? Which,
you've had you've had stank face for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Devani, I think you got a question here. Go for it.
Yo, my face is stank face at this moment. I got that. Like who?
Why is it stank face, Devani? Tell me why.
Well, you already know. You basically told everything why I'm stank face. Like, from the prices to paying what $50 for a scooter, and you got to give an extra $25 for a security deposit. Then you're waiting 3 hours just for a ride that only lasted 90 seconds, maybe shorter. Like, come on.
They are
Like,
trying to squeeze
But
as
that's
much
Disney being
possible
Disney,
out of
though.
a fan base that they know is loyal. They know that people will go ahead and come to this place regardless. Let they don't be going Star Wars on me, JP.
Yeah, this is why
Don't be
we
going
have
Star
this
Wars on
show
me. You
to
are
get
not my
all this
emperor.
out.
Uh,
And it's twice a week. That's how much we need it.
yeah, you make
Yeah.
Six
But see-
Flags look like the greatest thing on earth at this moment.
Oh, and there's
Dude.
still more. There's
And
still
you know what?
Look,
And here's the thing: it's Great Adventure, dude. You're in Jersey. It's Great Adventure, not Six Flags. You know, and then it's pretty much empty. Even like Halloween or Christmas, you can walk around, you can see a lot of stuff. You know, with Disney, I've been hearing this a lot lately, where it's getting more and more crowded, far more expensive. Supposedly, the Star Wars hotel is like
Mhm.
$5,500 for like 2 nights. You know, I think about this from the perspective of my $11,000 car loan. You know, that is half of my car loan in 2 days. And that's just to stay at the place. That's not to buy anything. That's not to eat there. You know, I mean, the amount of money that gets spent, dear God, no wonder nobody wants to go anymore.
in full
Let-
disclosure, I will say yes. My family are members of the Disney Vacation Club.
Okay.
It's something that we signed up for back in December of 2010 when we went down there for Christmas. And it allows us a certain luxury when it comes to getting the accommodation, whether it's
Mhm.
this hotel or that hotel or something else. So that
Not a
is
scooter.
one monkey off our backs. However, there's the entire jungle coming down to stomp on us. Whether it's the transportation aspect of going to some of the parks, don't ever try to go to Animal Kingdom on a whim, because there was only one way in and one way out. Only bus. No monorail, no boat, no Skyliner, which I already have a fear of heights, and that thing is shaky as hell, especially in Florida weather.
Mhm.
So needless to say, I was a little on edge. And not to mention, they are still, even COVID-wise, like you still have to have COVID mask mandates on the buses and on the monorail. Boats, you don't have to. The lines, you don't have to when you're standing there for 3 hours. And you can't even have a picture with your favorite characters. I saw more characters on railings and balconies waving down on everybody from on high than I saw anyone taking a picture right next to them or even just like across the road from them.
Hype
They're
has
trying to sprinkle in as little bit of magic as possible so that this way the kids are appeased and the pockets are drained of the parents.
Wow.
As
And
so,
I know this may seem really
And this is
silly
the
for a man
50-year
my age to
anniversary,
be
dude. This is
upset
a
about. I get
big,
it.
big deal.
But
This is the golden anniversary.
well, that's the thing. This is the 50th anniversary of the whole park, and this is the first time I have gone there that I haven't felt the magic. I've gone there at least maybe a total of 10 times. I can probably count it on my fingers since I was a kid. Whenever my mom actually had enough money to take my family, me and my sister, on vacation, that was the place to go. That's why it means so much to us. This is the first time I have gone there that I am disappointed, that I don't feel
Wow.
like I want to go back anytime soon, that there is anything worthwhile for it. That is not what you want to do. And then the company has the balls to go ahead and try to push all of its other product elsewhere, like on the Oscars, pushing everything digital, pushing everything that you have to see. And then when you see it, you have to come to the park and see it in person, provided you're willing to give away this much of your life to do so. It hurts.
here's the thing. So last year, my girlfriend and I went on a trip to Great Adventure Six Flags in Jersey with a group of friends, and we're young, especially out of the four of us. I'm the youngest here, and I went to Disneyland years ago as a kid. I'm this last summer going up Green Lantern where you're standing and you got the thing in between you. I'm going up, and right about 5 seconds before you go over that first thing, I'm up there. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with roller coasters. So for that, yeah, no, like really, like not even. Not
I know
even
that feeling.
the whole, like I had no desire to go on roller coasters anymore. I wasn't for that. So to hear all that stuff now about it all these years later, I have no desire to go there now, other than to go build a lightsaber and a droid, and that's it.
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna
the
even
$250
that is-
experience of building your own
that's the
lightsaber.
only no, but that's the only thing I would even be okay with shelling out money for.
Right.
But the whole thing, no, I'm not. I have no desire. The rides, like honestly, at 2:00 in the afternoon, we said to hell with this, and we went and drove through the safari, and it was fantastic. Had an amazing time. So for the whole, hearing that, I have no desire to go down there.
Yeah, same here.
So it's a shame, and it's a shame hearing that.
It is.
And I don't have a desire to go back because the last time I remember, a matter of fact, I don't even remember. I remember I was a baby when I went to Disneyland. I don't remember.
The last time I was at Disney World, and here's what I'm curious about. If you guys ever did this or what you think. Back in 2008, I did the behind the scenes tour. The one where they literally show how everything is done, the entire underground city and how they actually operate and all this kind of stuff.
So that's about a good $300, $400 per person right there.
Yeah.
It was actually, to be fair, I mean, I didn't pay it, but it was actually really, no, I didn't. I got away with that one. But it was honestly, it was a really cool experience to be able to see how all the stuff within Disney, and Disney is very well put together, to see how Disney, operates behind the scenes. I would almost wonder in this case, the one question he asked me is, he said, now that you know how everything is, does it still feel magical? Because you came up right at 3:30, right when the parade came by. He timed that thing right to the minute. And I would almost wonder now if you would still feel that kind of magic, that kind of energy, that kind of excitement, knowing how corporate it has gotten, and I think Star Wars may have a lot to do with that because they sank a ton of money into Star Wars. And they did, I forget what the name of the Star Wars city was, but they dropped so much bank into that thing, and nobody went. And they lost, they bled money on that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like I'm saying, I just want to go for a lightsaber to droid. That's it.
Which you can do anywhere, really.
Yeah, but that experience, that's all I'd want to do.
With him, I want a lightsaber, and I want it unique.
All right, real quick, what color?
And then go and leave.
What color would you get? I already know
green.
mine.
Green, 100%.
Right. Devani?
White or black?
White. Oh, you're going to go with a dark saber. Okay. I would go white
No,
or yellow.
between those two. White or black, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, so dark saber or, Ahsoka's lightsaber. I would go white or yellow.
The way I'm feeling, I'm going red and I'm burning it all.
Dude, you know what? I don't blame the Sith entirely. I mean, let's not forget the Jedi kidnapped little children and said, you can never see your parents again. You're staying over here with us.
They're just like Disney would. Believe me, if they could get away with child labor,
a Disney-like move, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, if you look at Disney in this case here, I mean, there's such a. I'm surprised they're operating this way. I really can't.
I can, because
it doesn't surprise me.
When I went in 2017, it wasn't that bad. This is all just post-COVID, and they have done so much to just take the joy out of it. And they'll go ahead and tell you, oh, well, this is everyone's safety. This is all for improvement. Oh, the inflation happens to everybody. Look, you have been making money hand over fist from so many avenues. And still you determined to gouge the audience, to gouge the people that come there. Just for what reason? What exactly do you need the extra money for? Oh, to pay off the money you spent on Fox? No, you don't. You got that with Marvel. They made up for you with their 2-point-something billion.
Profits before
people.
You are
not struggling.
I was a financial advisor for 7.5 years. JD was did the same in the same company. I can tell you right now, profits take priority over people. Stock prices, take priority over everything else. It's unfortunately how the world is, and it's worse now than it ever has been.
But anyway, I'll get off my soapbox because I know there's one more thing we have to do, and it's getting down to the wire here.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to start we'll wrap this up probably the next 15-ish minutes. This is, in this case here, the last topic of conversation. This is something that I know, Brandon, you wanted to go into a little bit more. As I'm going to pull that video out or that image out. The passing of Foo Fighters legend Mr. Taylor Hawkins, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. I wanted to see how you felt because I know you had some ideas, some thoughts. So you know what? As I'm pulling that image up, sir, just go ahead and roll.
First off, I do want to just put condolences out to the Hawkins family, Dave, the rest of the guys in the band, and just everyone that was friends, everybody. Like this was not a obviously this wasn't something with sickness, or this wasn't even like a I don't think a drug thing where there's something like you could have seen this happen, anything in the future, but this was absolutely gut wrenching, shocking. I don't even think there's any information out still. And forgetting the musical part of it, just such a great fucking dude, like such a nice guy. All these guys in the band are, and it didn't stop with Hawkins. Just the love and just what a nice guy. And it's really a shame. And 50, like you guys are a little closer to it's
46.
no, but the thing is, at such a young age, that's young. And it was right before they were supposed to go on show, and it was really just terrible news to hear. And then the outstretch to all these other bands, and like a lot of bands are on tour now, back with these restrictions coming off, so they're hearing this like this was at night, right as they're on stage or before they're about to take the stage. So just to see all the tributes, we're doing Foo Fighters songs and just toasts to Taylor, and it's such a shame, and he's gonna be missed. There's no other way to say it.
And obviously in your case, basically for those that don't know, you're big into the 80s, the 90s kind of stuff. That is right now, I remember basically you had a mini meltdown when someone from Australia said the Guns N' Roses sucked. I remember
that. I'm still bitter about that. Guns N' Roses is my favorite all-time band, and so it started with the classic bands, Zeppelin, Stones, Pink Floyd, then trickled into the more heavier stuff, Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, Metallica, and then obviously to this newer 90s, 2000, but 90s, 2000 stuff. So they really, now we're at the point where like Foo Fighters are like kind of classic rock, to where they're categorized. So it's really just a gut-wrenching loss.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Information out there. This shouldn't have happened. Like
this is the second time Dave Grohl has been down this road too.
Yeah, and I just it's really terrible, man. It's
I want to add in, like, I remember in high school I used to play the Foo Fighters all the time. Pretender. What's the other song I played a lot that I remember that? Oh God,
Everlong, My Hero.
All those. Wow. Like, it was so many songs that
Destiny.
That's the one that basically stood out the most to me. Yeah, and it's just that it got me through high school. Like, not all kids from the urban community listen to rap and hip hop. There was moments where we shut up. There was moments where we played a lot of Papa Roach. Fall Out Boys, Foo Fighters, Paramore. Yeah, played a lot of Paramore. It's like I was a huge Green Day fan, also Metallica. Karaoke, I definitely played Into the Sandline, like religiously, and I Disappear. Like, these artists do stay as a figment of a moment of our lives. So it's like, and some type of evolution of stuff like that. I always had to bring that up because a lot of people sit back and think, oh, you're in the urban society, you don't know about rock. Not necessarily. You'll be surprised. So,
well, basically you got three white guys here, so we're really good with, like, the Bee Gees, little disco dance and things like that. That dance from Pulp Fiction that John Travolta did.
ABBA is an all-time great band.
Poison.
Yeah.
Look, I will nominate Billy Joel, and that's it. All right, I am not getting involved.
Don't get me started with Billy Joel. Yeah. Oh my! But it's just that, like, we didn't start the fight. God, you got me talking about classics. But
sorry, I don't have my piano and my sunglasses right now. But actually, I did have a question as far as Brandon was concerned. Why did you say that his death shouldn't have happened?
It's
like,
just,
are you saying that it was preventable?
No, I don't want to say it's preventable. It's just like really like more non-deserving. I should say, like it just, especially for if it's something that was maybe an accident or it's just something. It's just like you don't want to hear this. That's what I more
Like,
of the lines of what I was trying to say. Like it's just,
like he just died all of a sudden and nobody
Yeah.
really giving out information, and it's like kind of shocking to everybody. So it's like you're left hanging without closure.
Mhm.
Am I right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, we had that a few
It
weeks ago
is.
with Bob
It is.
Saget, or it was like, what the hell just happened
Yeah,
there?
that's
Or
what
Norm
like
Yeah.
Macdonald, remember that one too?
it's just
But yeah, when it comes to like
50
musicians, I think there's always like the stigma of, oh, it's the hard rock party sort of scene, the
Mhm.
drugs do them in or anything. I think back to like Michael Jackson and how he passed because his doctor was
that's
kind of
right.
negligent,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that that's something that it shouldn't have happened. But considering the lifestyle that he was living, I'm not surprised that maybe a medical issue was the downfall more so than say his hair being set on fire.
Mhm.
They were I think about 20 minutes from going on stage.
Mhm.
So
Ah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's just there's nothing has come out. It was just so like what?
Mm. And
So
then they have a movie that came out.
yes, I was gonna say
Mhm.
that
oh
this
yeah,
kind of,
what was it? Studio 666.
yeah, this
Yeah.
kind of this horror comedy movie that has just come out too, where all five of them, like his face, like he all of them, like it's such it really is terrible, and they're doing such great things. And I hope, obviously, his presence, it can't be replaced, but I do really, and I think they will. I do just, I hope they live on, because I really obviously think that's what he would have wanted, because he would be there. He would be with
Mhm.
them. So it's really a shame, and he'll be terribly missed.
Yes.
But see, interesting to see what they end up doing, to replace them, because eventually they're going to have to. So,
Not necessarily. I mean, there has certainly been bands that when a member has died, especially a close enough member, they just they don't bother.
I think they will. I
They
personally
will.
think they'll replace at some point with somebody.
Yeah,
Because you need
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say like a band like a Skinnerd, who we
Mhm.
have a plane crash, who have lose like such a
God.
core, or something
Yeah,
like
Johnny Van Zant's been the lead singer of that for what,
yeah,
40 years now?
yeah, honestly, yeah, or
Yeah.
Metallica, where you have Cliff Burton in their bus accident where he
Mhm.
loses, and you bring in a Jason Newsted, who
Mhm.
ends up being with the band for even, I think, a longer the period of time than Cliff was. So they definitely, I think, will go on. The timing of it could be, we don't know. The timing could
Yeah.
be an incredible amount of time. But just honest, my heart's and everything out, thoughts and prayers out to them. So
Fair.
Right.
So, all right. Do you guys have any other final thoughts? You think you're okay? So,
I mean, as far as
anything
ending
else
on
with
a
Disney that
sour
you need to
note,
get off?
yeah, I was
do
going to say,
wanna
yeah,
give some credit to
any other
the-
Disney
Anything
related
else
I mean,
in
man,
the
it's-
Disney?
Yeah.
Well, no, I want to give credit to the makers here of ALF, Alice Will Live Forever. The main man, Kirill Bichutsky, he may or may not have passed over the weekend. There's some speculation considering he's been known to pull certain pranks, so it's still up in the air. We don't know if he really is gone, but certainly they're selling all the product and everything. And I've always been a fan of the brand. And if you ever follow him on social media, if you see him in American Meme, the documentary, cool dude. I've been able to meet him a couple of times when he's rolled through Jersey and gives them parties. And if he is gone, my condolences to his girlfriend and his family and all of the people that work with him. If he isn't dead, dude, come on. And that's the thing. He just went in for like colonoscopy, and they are saying that he died from the anesthesia. Now, again, we don't know. We can't tell. That's the fucked up thing about this fan base. We don't know if it's correct or not. So we are still left in the ethers while they're putting up posts that they're selling their t-shirt making equipment. So we just don't know, man.
So until then, you
it's
wear
going to
the
be one
hat.
of those things where it's going to kill me because this is someone that I can actually say that I was fond of and I admired, and his clothing actually fit me, which for a guy my size is a hard thing to do. So anyone who's a fan, go ahead and just spread this around, spread the goodwill. Make sure that we get the word out there that if he is gone, that people should recognize it, and he'll live forever with us if he's not already doing so.
Fair to fair. So
Yeah.
All right.
But on that
Well,
happy note,
that was a nice little eulogy you had there. Whether or not actually he needs to be eulogized, it remains to be
yeah,
seen.
no,
but
we'll come back
it was-
next week and see if I have to do it
It
again.
was it was honestly
Yeah,
it was
right.
really really
On Friday.
touching what you did. So I just want to let you know
Yes.
there that yeah. So all right,
That's
cool.
gonna be
So I
fun.
think
That's gonna be fun.
How many more
All
minutes
right.
we have?
I was gonna say we're gonna wrap this up. I think right about now. So
Okay.
thanks to you guys. Any final thoughts from you? So okay, cool.
Until
My baby finally came in the mail.
What do you got there?
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim. Okay,
The KO edition.
nice.
Ooh.
They stopped.
So, but okay, yeah. So basically, coming up also, by the way, just want to point this out. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, we have the Sports Den on Spanglish World Network, talking a little more March Madness because right now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Sadly, actually, St. Peter's is no more. By the way, Brandon, I was talking to Marty Herstein yesterday. He said, "Do not call me. I'm in a day of mourning." So I figured you might get a kick out of that line.
Ooh.
But we're going to talk about that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We will be talking about the Oscars. Also, may spend some time on some of the really, really weird auditions that I've been getting lately, and some of the weird things that apparently even shows like Catfish and reality shows on Bravo are asking for like people to come in. So I'll be talking about that at 7 p.m.
If
And
it's
then we got
Love and
Moon Knight
Hip Hop, you know
coming up.
what you have to do now.
Oh yeah,
What's that?
Moon Knight coming.
My
ladies and
girlfriend.
gentlemen.
Yes, Moon Knight.
Yes, that will be. I
Oh
believe
yeah,
we're
we're
going to do
gonna
that
be
on
doing
Wednesday.
that this Wednesday, aren't we?
Yes, 5 p.m. Eastern is fine with me if it's fine with you, gentlemen. So,
Wait, 5 p.m.
well, 5 p.m. is what we normally do. Does that fly for you?
Oh, for Moon Knight.
Yeah.
First episode.
I
What do you want to do?
should
6 p.m.,
be-
7 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m.?
Think hard
I
about
think-
this now.
should be available. I should be available. I should be available.
All right. We'll figure it out.
shall
We're going to make
see.
that shit work.
Yeah, I'll jump on. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, stay tuned on all the social media channels. Tales from the Film Set on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, and then also on Film Set Tales on Twitter. So that'll be on that one. And then basically we got Brandon usually covers our NBA stuff as well. So I don't know if you're doing Thursday, but I think you're probably doing
Yes.
Sunday again.
Yes, Thursday is going to be Hawks and Cavs,
Mhm.
and then Sunday I forgot. So
Sunday will
wrote
definitely
it
be
down.
two teams going at it.
it'll be two teams with professional basketball players.
People that are
And then
taller
we're
and
also-
richer than all of us.
Saturday, I also wanted to do the whole Final Four coverage.
Yes.
So both games, just run them back to back and
Yes, that's
go
fine.
full force. Yeah, full force into that because that should be a fantastic 2 games of basketball. So
And that'll be
exciting
on the
stuff.
Stream Punk Sports side of things. So.
Yes.
All right, cool. So thank you guys as always. I mean, this, I had a lot of fun with this one. I really did with the Oscar stuff. And, obviously with, what Disney has turned itself into. So thank you as always to Mr. Ryan O'Regan, Mr. Devon Goosey, and Mr. You figured it out. Brandon K. I don't know where the hell I was thinking there. Dude, I'm looking this way. I think I know what I'm pointing at. So
What is the Brady Bunch?
exactly. Here's a story of a dumbass host. And anyway.
Stop.
So anyway, thanks as always for you guys tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for the comments.